All right, it's finally time. We're going to get firewood. So this should be pretty fun. I don't have a tree picked out or nothing, so we're just gonna go drive around the woods till we find one. We brought the old 066, the 880, just cuz. Overkill, we don't care. I'm gonna get on the road and we'll get back to you when we get to something cool. All right, finally found some dirt. That's way more fun. Man, nice out today. Nice and green. This is the burn. You can tell that it clearly burnt here. I think it was about 2015. So what we're looking for today is, at the very least, red fir. That's one right up there in the middle that's dead. It's quite a ways from the road. If you're looking for wood, you kind of want to get something that's, you know, as easy as you can. And at the very least, red fir's as low quality as I'm going. There's all kinds of trees here that are dead, but most of them don't have any BTUs in them, so they're not very good. That is what we're looking for. But it's not a full load, so we're going to continue on up the road, try to find another one or something else to get a half a load, and we'll grab this on the way out if that's the way it works out. That is a Douglas fir or red fir, whatever you want to call it, and man, that'd be pretty easy. We're gonna continue on up the road. Just remember where that one is and see what else we can come up with. This is good scouting, but that's a good one right there. That'd be pretty easy to haul that right in the road and no big deal. Alright, being greedy, we're gonna try to find the easiest one we can, so maybe it's that one, but we're gonna keep going. This is where we did one of our videos, was right here. We fell a bunch of trees up there and brought 2 trees down and got a load. This was my old signature from years ago. When I would cut wood, I would write "be back" on the piece of firewood. It's still here. I mean, look at it all faded out it is. I believe it was 2 years ago. This is a really nice piece of wood. So we're gonna, I mean, it's set up and everything. All I gotta do is get it off of there and roll it in the road here. We'll go turn around and come back. Like, I gotta get that. We're just gonna pull it a little ways, see what happens. What'll happen is it'll come off that bank and then go over there, and then you got to pull it back up the hill. So I'm gonna grab some junk here and throw it in the road, you know, just to help. Hopefully it'll hit that stuff. If it comes down the road, you know, and I get it out here ways, I'm just gonna come out and saw a few blocks of it and keep nudging on it until we get it out of there, because I don't want to lose it. Here we go. We did bring the 880. I better go get the earmuffs because it's too loud to run with earplugs. Well, I wasn't lying. That is nice wood. That's a western larch. No bark. What a nice piece of wood. I can't believe nobody got it. There's quite a bit of it left there. We're gonna do good. That's cool. All right, this is western larch. One of the reasons we cut it is because it's so easy to split. You don't get all wore out trying to do it. It's pretty nice. Red fir's good wood, but it don't split like this. Yeah, don't get much better than that. Know what I mean? That's sweet. All right, see if we can get her in the truck. All right, we'll jump up in here and get that stacked. Okay, that was easy. You can see on the sides where I left these little notches. That's so I can put a half chunk there and build it up higher. These racks aren't quite high enough to get as much as I can haul, so we'll just put half chunks in there, and maybe we'll do that twice and, you know, get it up here so it's this high. It's usually what I do with that. All right, let's rig that cable and pull the rest of this thing out. Maybe I saved 2 blocks to put along the road so it don't roll off that bank, so we'll get those out and hook it up. Okay, we're hooked up. We'll go ahead and jump in the truck and skid that out. All right, that's what we're looking for right there. Stayed in the road. That's a nice piece of wood that I can't believe it's still sitting there. All right, we'll get the earmuffs on here and whittle this thing up. Well, we got it down. The bar is just so long, I'm tripping over it, and I was just doing it for fun, you know. So we'll continue with it, but that thing's heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these up and do some splitting. When you're splitting these, if you split them this way, they'll all tip over. If you can split them this way to begin with, they'll be against each other. Then you can turn around and just come back and go down without them, stand them all up. This first one might tip over. I'll go ahead and stand it up, but then we'll probably be able to keep them all up. That's a lot of bending over to stand all those up to split them again, you know? So see what happens. So they all stayed up. Now we can work our way back. Oh, it fell over. Cool. I'm gonna cut a couple halves for the racks. Okay, we'll get this in the truck and stack it. Pretty much got our first row here done, and like I said, we got our sides in there to hold it up. See this headache rack right here? You know, you pile it on top of that like this will probably end up on your hood. So this first row, I kind of gotta watch it, you know, and just make sure that it's hooking the back of that headache rack. Otherwise, you don't want it up there because it will slide right off and end up on the hood of your pickup. So that's never good. Boy, is that nice, isn't it? Woohoo! Don't get better than that. Well, very cool. Okay, I'm gonna back the truck up here and we'll finish cutting that up and get it loaded, and we'll go find us another tree. So we found a pretty big larch way down there. There's a road down there. I'm pretty sure that thing would jump far enough to hit it. We might have to do that. That's a nice piece of wood way down there. Not this one. That's probably hard to see. Anyways, I think it'd make it. There's more than a cord in that. That'd be a good one. Maybe we'll have to give that a try. Scouting wood. All right, the tree's up there. Looks a little bigger than it did earlier. We may have a hard time getting it on this truck. It is what it is. We'll definitely have a load out of the deal, that's for sure. Here we go. Okay, number one thing. Park your truck so far away there's no way you can hit it. Check. Need to get more exercise in the winter. That's a nice piece of wood. Might be leaned uphill a little, but no big deal. I'll take care of this red stem so we can get a wedge in it if we need to. I think our cedar tree is just on this side of the lodge pole, so probably what we'll shoot for. All right, a little clean up here. Well, it broke. It's okay. That'll make it more fun to get it out of here. Go ahead and cut some pieces off of it and get them in the road. It looks to me like it's kind of hanging by a thread up there, so we're going to be real careful messing around it. But I'm going to go stand those up, because it's going to come off of there and try to go over the bank, and then we'd have to do it all over again, so we don't want to do that. So I'm glad I stopped where I did there. The log is not straight, so it's not going to roll very good, so that's good. All right, well, we'll get some pieces stood up and we'll cut as much of this as we can off, and then I'll rehook it and try to skid it in the road. Pretty nice stuff. No bark, buckskin. It's not quite dry, but we'll just stack it in the yard all summer and it will be dry. That stacked up, kind of hosed myself a little bit there by throwing all that in there where I needed to stack it, but that's okay. It's the first trip of the year, you know. Yeah, be still touch and go. This really isn't a bad deal, you know. Don't lose your temper and stay calm when stuff doesn't go the way you want it to, and it'll work out. Just like that, we're in pretty good shape now if we don't lose it over the bank. I think we're gonna hook to it and see what happens. Safety precaution, I'm gonna run up the road and move a few of those little blocks of wood because I've just had it happen so many times. Somehow it gets over them and then it's over the bank. Then you might throw your temper tantrum. All right, here we go. Whole thing's dirty, so it'll be, we'll see if we can get through this. I mean, I'll show it to you. It's dirty. And you got, it's in the bark. I'm in the shade there here. You can see how it's in the bark there. I mean, talk about dulling a chainsaw. That's the best way to do it. But I'll prove to you, I hope, that as long as you keep it, pulling it out of that the right way. And see, this isn't too bad here. So we'll switch to this side. It's really bad, just coated. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just do a little at a time and see if I can get through it without having to file this saw. Still cutting good. The guy that sold me this chainsaw 22 years ago told me that when it was hot out, if I just cut 5 or 6 blocks, shut the saw off, split them and load them, cut 5 more, I'd never burn it up. It's 22 years old and it's cut a lot of firewood. This is a still 066. They made these from 91 to 2002. This is a 2002. So pretty cool old saw. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best one they ever made. Road's pretty uneven, so we're gonna get a lot of that tipping over crap.
go ahead and start this next row so we don't do what we did before, which is pile all the wood on top of it and have to move it all. Okay, cut another chunk and split it up and load it. Getting warm out, and I'm warm. We're almost done. I'm glad. I'm pretty tired, wandering around. You know, it was good to go at first, and whew, first load of the year, not in as good a shape as I could be, I guess. So, gonna be a dandy load of wood. It's gonna be just right. Whatever we get, is what we get. That's pretty much going to fill it up, I think, I'd say. So that's cool. A little bit bitch getting it out, but it's all right. Okay, it's not going to get loaded if I don't do it. Okay, there it is. We're done. The old first gen is ready to go home. We got a good load on there. Definitely. Yeah, that'll keep me warm this winter. All right, well, time to leave this beautiful place and head down the mountain. Roll the windows down and should be pretty cool. Get out of the sun for a minute. All right, I'm gonna load the rest of my gear and we'll get going. All right, made it home. Now we gotta unload it. So I just put down boards to keep it off the ground and stack it on it, and then I cover it with this tin later. We'll leave it out here in the sun for a couple months, and I'll probably cover it in August, and then I can haul it in during the winter or do whatever I want. So I'm just gonna get to it. All right, that's it. She's empty. I'm gonna call it a day. That was a pretty good trip. It's nice wood, nice day. It's not too hot. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something about hauling dirty wood. This is try to get out and do this again. What a riot. I feel pretty good for the first trip. I'm a little tired. I probably had enough for today. Might go sit in the shade for a while. Okay, we'll catch you later.